Welcome back to Football Daily for today's top 10. A matter of days before the window is set to close, we're running through some of our favourite business. Let's get into it. 10. Ethan Ampadu. Outlined recently in an XI as a perfect loan candidate, Ethan Ampadu will hopefully be in contention for a decent amount of game time following his loan move from Chelsea to Sheffield United. After making just 7 appearances for RB Leipzig last season, it's fair to say that this campaign is crucial to the 20-year-old's development. In theory, the move to Bramall Lane should be a productive one for the Welshman, with Chris Wilder's system utilising Ampadu's strengths. Athletic, defensively solid and capable with the ball at his feet, he's an ideal candidate for the unorthodox role of an overlapping centre-back. Somewhat of a hallmark for a Wilder side. And with mainstay Jack O'Connell facing a prolonged period on the sidelines owing to a knee injury, Ampadu gives the Blades much needed depth. Allegedly, he wanted to stay and fight for his place at Chelsea, but a good year in Yorkshire will be a lot more productive than another year on the bench. 9. Amine Gouiri. It might not be a name you immediately recognise, but it's yet another example of smart transfer business by Nice. Prior to the season, the 20-year-old had only featured 8 times for Lyon's first team since his debut in 2017. However, he was prolific for the club's reserve side, scoring 14 in 33 matches. Nice paid a cool €7 million for the youngster, who's played for the French youth teams from under-16s right up to the under-21s, scoring 43 goals in 52 matches at youth level for Les Bleus. In 2017, he was also named by The Guardian as one of the best young prospects in the world, alongside the likes of Alphonso Davies and Erling Haaland. And Gouiri has got off to a flyer in his first taste of regular action on the French Riviera, becoming the first Nice player to net twice for the club on his top-flight debut in 70 years. In just a handful of games, this already seems like little money for a lot of talent. 8. Dani Parejo. As far as underrated transfer windows go, we've got to say, Villarreal's takes some beating. Not only did they complete a double swoop for Francis Coquelin and Dani Parejo for under £13 million, they managed to rattle their neighbours Valencia in the process. While Peter Lim's cutting costs at Los Che, the Yellow Submarines are gunning for Champions League qualification. Alongside the pair, Fernando Ruij's side also signed Osasuna's standout left-back Pervis Estupiñán from Watford, and former Sociedad keeper Geronimo Rulli, who has half a decade of experience in the top flight. But of course, pick of the bunch is undoubtedly Parejo, who remarkably was a free transfer. Valencia's talisman for much of the last decade, the 31-year-old still scored 8 and set up 3 in a down year, and usually hits 2 key passes and 3 defensive actions every 90 minutes. He also came 4th in La Liga in 1920 for passes into the final third. Basically, Villarreal have signed a player of Champions League quality for absolutely nothing. What's not to love about this move? 7. Matheus Pereira. Matheus Pereira has been a revelation for West Bromwich Albion over the last year. Signed on loan from Sporting in 2019, the Brazilian-born attacker scored 8 goals and made 16 assists in 38 starts in the Baggies' successful championship campaign, averaging 1 goal involvement every 1.5 games. It was a no-brainer for Slavan Bilic to make the move permanent in this window, and £8.2 million is a bargain, particularly as his value doubled whilst on loan at the Baggies. If they can do that again, they might turn a mean profit even if they get relegated. 2.6 shots, 2.8 key passes and 1.5 dribbles a match in the Championship last season is nothing to be sniffed at, particularly when these sort of numbers secured Ollie Watkins a £30 million move to Aston Villa. On the opposite flank to record signing Grady Diangana, West Brom could make the argument they have 2 of the best young attackers outside of the top half. And it's going to take a hell of an effort from both of them to ensure a second season in the top tier. 6. Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. The Premier League have reported that English clubs are losing over £100 million per month. It's because of this financial uncertainty that Gary Neville labelled this transfer window the easiest in history for top teams to do business, as teams from the lower reaches of the Premier League will need to offload their stars in order to balance the books. And Spurs validated this claim very early on, securing Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg from Southampton for just £15 million. Tanguy Ndombele was supposed to be the fulcrum of Tottenham's midfield last campaign. However, fitness and form have ensured that isn't the case. Now, Jose Mourinho has turned to the former Bayern Munich man to add some steel to the base of his midfield. He also completed a very respectable 1 key pass per 90 from the base of midfield, good enough for 5th at Spurs' last campaign. A two-way midfielder, the Dane comes with great pedigree and was highly rated by Pep Guardiola while the pair were in Bavaria. The Spaniard even went as far as comparing him to Sergio Busquets. And at just 25, with over 100 Premier League appearances to his name, there's every chance that Hojbjerg will step it up a notch under Jose's stewardship. 5. Achraf Hakimi. In a window where top sides are scrambling around for elite fullbacks, it seems absolutely ridiculous that nobody rivaled Inter Milan's bid of €40 million for former Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund starlet Achraf Hakimi. In a standout campaign in the Bundesliga, he scored 7 league goals and set up 14 more, completing almost a key pass a game and completing 2 dribbles per 90 as Lucien Favre utilised him down that whole right-hand side. Defensively, he averaged around 3 tackles and interceptions a match, more than anyone who played wing-back for Inter over the last 12 months. At just 21 years old, Hakimi appears to be the archetypal player for Antonio Conte's wing-back system. In just 110 minutes of Serie A football, he's already contributed to 3 goals. If he sets up the same sort of telepathic relationship with Romelu Lukaku that he had with Jadon Sancho, then Inter may just topple Juventus at the 10th time of asking. 4. Timo Werner. After spending the last year in the transfer wilderness, Chelsea have splurged over £200 million on players in positions of need. And despite his compatriot Kai Havertz costing more money, most of the responsibility in terms of driving Chelsea forward lays firmly on Timo Werner's shoulders. On the evidence of his time at Leipzig, this is a challenge that he'll relish. The 24-year-old scored 95 goals in 159 matches across all competitions for the Bundesliga side, and had previously been courted by Bayern Munich and Liverpool. However, Chelsea caught everybody cold, swooping in with a £50 million bid. The 31-capped international has averaged 3.6 shots in the last 2 campaigns, only bettered in the Premier League by Mo Salah, whilst Werner also put up 27 assists in his time with the Rotten Bullen, roughly the same number as Firmino for Liverpool in the same time frame. No Chelsea player has scored more than 22 goals in all competitions since Didier Drogba put up 37 in 2009-10. Finally, they've got another prolific finisher on their hands, and at just 24, he could be crushing it for the best part of the next decade. 3. James Rodriguez. Everton's signing of James Rodriguez was met with equal parts optimism and scepticism by fans and pundits alike. After all, he's won the league title in each of his last 4 seasons, but was also ostracised by Real Madrid last campaign, where he didn't even clock up 500 league minutes. However, Everton boss Carlo Ancelotti has long been an admirer of the Colombian, and was at the helm of both Madrid and Bayern Munich when those clubs signed him in 2014 and 2017 respectively. And they've now been reunited for a 3rd time, remarkably for a free transfer. And it's clear the Italian knows how to get the best out of him. James quickly silenced the haters on his Toffees debut, where he put up 5 defensive actions, much to the chagrin of the commentators. The next week, he opened his goal and assist tallies. We know it's very early days in his career on Merseyside, but with 2 shots, 3.5 key passes, and 1.5 dribbles a match so far, any fear that James can't adjust to the rigours of the Premier League have quickly been dispelled. 2. Leroy Sane. It's been a quiet window by Bayern Munich standards, but then again, how do you improve on Champions League winners who won their last 26 matches in all competitions without experiencing defeat in 10 months? Well, signing Leroy Sane from Manchester City isn't a bad start. The German champions paid an initial €45 million for his services, which, according to Transfermarkt, is roughly half his current value. Never truly a guaranteed starter under Pep Guardiola, Sane scored 20 and set up 25 league goals between 2017 and 2019, with teammate Raheem Sterling the only other player in the league to notch double figures for goals and assists in these 2 individual seasons. Manchester City may have been forced to sell, as Sane wasn't renewing his deal with a year left, but they still took considerably less than they would have hoped for. Bayern have in effect signed an elite Ribery replacement who could star for the next decade, injuries permitting. 1. Thiago Alcantara. Pipping Sane to the number 1 spot is a player who's going the other way. Thiago has swapped the Allianz for Anfield, costing Liverpool just £20 million up front, again about half his Transfermarkt value, owing to the fact he wouldn't renew his current deal despite being offered 3 years. Regarded as one of the finest technicians in world football and capable of playing a multitude of midfield roles, Thiago completed more passes in just 20 Bundesliga starts last season than any of his new teammates managed all campaign, with a completion rate of 91%. The Spaniard is also massively underrated defensively, making 195 recoveries and 45 interceptions last term, more than any of Liverpool's midfielders. Even more impressive when you consider that Bayern were a more ball-dominant side in the Bundesliga than Liverpool were in the Premier League. He may have had injury issues in the past, but has played at least 40 matches across all competitions in 4 of the last 5 seasons. Jurgen Klopp already has Wijnaldum, Robertson and Fabinho to do a combination of running and defending. Now, he's added a conductor to that mix. £20 million for one of the most well-rounded players in the modern game is an absolute steal. And in our opinion, it puts the ball back in Manchester City's court, making Liverpool favourites for the title. So guys, that was our 10 favourite transfers from the summer window, but who are yours? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye!